is how tyranny works. It incrementally trains you to accept losing your free speech, being put in free speech zones, being beat up by thugs, until you're living in a total police state. Coming up, we're going to play for the full audience. Some stations don't carry this segment. In the next segment with our guest, we're going to get into this video in the press conference where a brave reporter did indeed ask serious questions of the congressman who was up there peddling propaganda. But going to this issue first, gentlemen, before we have a 1-minute break and come back, Mr. Brown, where are you going with this? I mean, not only was your client brutally attacked with racial slurs added for absolutely no reason on video with witnesses, but they have tried to demonize him, as he was saying earlier, and implied that he took on 4 guys. So don't you have to go after them legally now just to clear your client's name fully? I mean, you have all the evidence.
Well, it's not about clearing Kenneth's name. We know Kenneth has been in the right the entire time.
No, I know the video shows it and the police arrested the bad guys, but, as you've seen the spin out there on the web, I mean, pretty soon they're going to claim he had devil horns and was flying around on a broom.
Well, yeah, but it's probably already happening as we speak. But Ken's laughing. I don't know how funny it is, though. Because Ken's in a pool of piranhas now, and the piranhas are out there, and it's all about money and power with them. So they're going to attack viciously for their own agenda and their own interests. So our plan is we're putting together a strategic legal plan right now, and we will be suing the appropriate parties. But until we file that lawsuit, I don't want to exactly go into all the strategy of what we're going to do, but be clear that our action will be swift and it will be deliberate.
So in the next few weeks, I would put Obama on the spot. I would call the FBI in and say, "We have a hate crime right here on tape." Peaceful man. We're going to be
calling for Chris Koster, the Attorney General for the state of Missouri, to prosecute these individuals as a hate crime, because it was the crime of the third-degree assault was racially motivated. Even if it was the first perpetrator was a black American, nonetheless, it was still racially motivated. Be clear of this, because he did not believe that a black person could be selling the Gadsden flags. So it was a racially motivated beating and a brutal beating. It doesn't matter if you're black or white. If you commit the crime based upon race, then it will be considered a hate crime, and it will be elevated from a third-degree assault to a D felony.
Well, just to add a historical note, blacks fought and died in the very first skirmishes at Lexington and Concord, if my history serves. So, I mean, again, that's almost denying African Americans their American heritage to be able to hand out a colonial flag. I mean, have they been trained by the DHS reports that anybody that has this symbol that I'm holding in my hand of the coiled snake, don't tread on me? I mean, I guess that's why Nancy Pelosi says you're AstroTurf. They're saying you're AstroTurf because that's what tyrants always do. And we're saying, no, we're Americans who are free. I'm not your slave. I mean, that's all this means was to the redcoats that we weren't their slaves. I mean, Kenneth, why do you go out and hand out the Gadsden flags?
Well, I was just out selling the Gadsden flags, and just trying to make a living, trying to make a living for myself and for my, to help out my wife and everything,
So this is even worse. You weren't even out there politically. You're just out there, hey, you want a flag? I'll give you one.
Definitely.
These people. Well, I mean, that's the crazy part about it is I run into Obama supporters now, and they're like wild-eyed because they were all bought into this dream that everything was fine, their house was going to be paid for, their car was going to be paid for. Remember all that? And now they look at me or anybody else that doesn't worship him as it's my fault everything isn't fine.